So words are funny things until they're not. So let me ask you about what I think is one of the most powerful and controversial words in the English language, the N-word.
Mm.
So this is a word that I can't say, that only certain people have the right to say. I have a friend, Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
who has, what would you say? There was mass pushback or highlighting of the fact that he didn't just say N-word, but said the full word many times throughout his conversations when referring to, in a meta way, about the power of words, especially when related to certain comedians using those words.
Yeah.
What do you think about this word? Is it empowering? Is it destructive? What is it? What does it mean for race in America? What does it mean that people like Joe Rogan were essentially, there's an attack to cancel him for using the word? Just as a scholar of human nature, what do you think about this whole thing?
This is a phenomenon that interests me. Okay.
Yes.
The N-word, nigger. I can say it because I'm black. But I mean, I can also say it because I like hip hop. And when I listen to hip hop, I hear the word all the time. These niggas ain't did, you gotta watch out for these, et cetera. I heard the word constantly as I was growing up as a boy and a young man in Chicago. Niggas ain't shit. That was said. That was, and that could be a reflection of some kind of pathology within the African American community of self-hatred and so forth. It could be, or it could just be a colloquial linguistic way. I mean, I assume other groups also have their various, I don't know how the Irish talk about their Irish brothers and, whatever. And I don't know how the Jews talk about their Jewish brothers and whatever. But black people, when talking about other black people, use the N-word all the time. My nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Yeah.
My nigga. That is a term of endearment.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Randall Kennedy, the law professor at Harvard University, has a book called Nigger, and he uses the word in the title of the book, The History of a Strange History of a Provocative Word. It's something like that. There's a subtitle, but the title of the book is Nigger, and then he has a subtitle. I think, of course, the use of the word as a slur and an insult, which is a part of the history of black people in the United States, the use of the word by the Southern racist segregationists. We don't want no niggas up in here. Y'all, niggas have no place in my restaurant, in my store, etc. That's meant to be an insult. It's an insult to people. It's a fighting word. It's a word that you say that to somebody. It's a invitation for conflict.
That said, what is it that about this particular word and also the asymmetry of it, that do you think it's empowering to the black community to own a word?
My honest answer to you is I don't know. I don't fully understand it. It has become symbolic in a way. And the policing of the use of the word, I can say it, but white people can't say it. I can say it. I'm not a racist. I'm not a self-hating black. I'm just speaking the language of colloquial English that has emerged amongst African Americans, in which that word plays a big role. But the prohibition on its use by others, and of course, in the Joe Rogan case, it wasn't as if he was calling anybody an N-word. He was simply pointing out that people had said stuff in which the N-word was a part of what they said. Now, he did make this statement about, how did he put it, Planet of the Apes, that one of the offensive things that he said had he walked into a room, there's a bunch of black guys standing around. He says, like Planet of the Apes.
He said it's like Africa, Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, he should have, and he did
should have been
apologize
a
for
little
that.
bit more careful.
That was an insult.
Yes.
That was something that you know, if you say that and people are offended, they have a right to be offended. And if you didn't mean to offend them, you can apologize. And he did apologize. I accept his apology. Joe's okay with me as far as that goes.
Yeah.
In fact, John McWhorter and I, at the podcast that I do, the Glenn Show, I had a conversation, part of which touched on the Joe Rogan phenomenon. And we concluded he didn't really do anything wrong. I mean, you can like him or you can hate him or whatever, but the idea that he's a racist is kind of ridiculous, frankly. I mean, you know, if that's your test of what constitutes a racist, the utterance of the word, then, you know, it's kind of silly as far as I'm concerned.